This tutorial demonstrates how you can use areas of influence and network partitions to identify the areas that are closest to your facilities. Areas of influence divide a map into territories based on straight line distance from point features. For example, my working layer in this map is the landmark layer, and I've already created a selection set of hospital features, so I can choose Tools, Geographic Analysis, Areas of Influence. Choose the features from which to base the areas of influence. In this case, I'm going to use the hospital selection set, and enter a name for the layer. Check this box if you want to calculate demographics for the areas of influence. There is also an option to create a report that will include a map of your areas of influence and any calculated demographics. I'm going to leave that unchecked and click OK. Enter a file name for the new layer you are creating and click Save. Maptitude creates the areas of influence and adds them to the map. And if you chose to calculate demographics, Maptitude also opens a data view with the results. For example, here you can see the population and households in each of the areas of influence. If I go back to the map, you can see that when Maptitude creates areas of influence, it starts with a large circle that encompasses all of the points and then subdivides it based on the proximity to those points. I'm going to click the previous scale button to zoom back into the downtown area and take a closer look at these hospital territories. And now that you can see that everything in this area is closest to this hospital, and everything in this area is closest to this hospital. As you can see, areas of influence are based on the straight line distance from the hospitals. For more accuracy, you can use a street layer to build areas that are based on drive time or distance by using network partitioning. First, I'm going to hide the area of influence layer that I just made, and then make the street layer the working layer by choosing it from the drop-down list on the standard toolbar. Now choose Tools, Routing, Network Partitioning. First, choose the point layer and features to use. In this case, I want to use the landmark layer and the hospital selection set. Then choose the field to minimize. I'm going to choose to minimize the travel time so that my results show the areas based on the shortest travel time to a hospital. And finally, enter the maximum distance or time for the outermost limit of the territories. On the Options tab, make sure to check the Create Zone Layer box if you want to create an area layer of the territories. You can also create a table that assigns each street segment to a territory and shows those assignments with a color theme. I'll go ahead and use these defaults and click OK. Enter names for the output files you chose. I'll name the link table Hospital Partition and the new area layer Hospital Territories. Maptitude creates the territories for the area that was visible on the map up to a maximum of 30 minutes. Again, I'll click the previous scale button to take a closer look at the territories. You can see the area layer that I chose to add, and the color theme on the street layer from the assignment table that I chose to create. So, for example, if you are anywhere within this territory on the streets shown in yellow, the closest hospital to drive to is this one. Finally, let me turn off the network partition zones and turn the original area of influence layer back on. I'll also make the area of interest a little bit darker so that they stand out more. You can see that the areas of influence are a fairly good representation of the territories close to the hospitals. And that wraps up this tutorial on creating areas of influence and network partitions.